Hello everyone, this is Peak Entertainment and we are back again. We're now going to talk about Walking Dead and do a review of the 17th episode from the 10th season titled Home Sweet Home. Now there will be spoilers for this episode, so if you haven't seen it yet or caught up with what happened previously throughout the 10th season, I advise you to stop watching now, go away, catch up with previous events and then come back to this review. Now of course this is one of 6 additional seasons from the 10th season before we get to the season 11, which will be the last of the series. So we follow up from the previous events, including the end of the Whisperer conflict. If you remember when we had that scene when all of the Whisperers, they walked off the cliff. We had Maggie making her much anticipated return to the group. We saw that Corey had been stranded away, if you remember, from the mid-season finale return when she initially got separated from the group when they were under attack. Michonne, of course, had gone on to find her quest to find Rick. And we also had Ezekiel, Eugene, Yumiko and Princess get captured by a group of soldiers in white uniforms. So that's really the previous catch-up from what happened between the events of the last group of episodes from this 10th season. So, in overall, I think this was a decent episode. To be honest, not really a lot happened. It was very much of a Maggie-centric episode where he saw her reunite with the group. We had that very earlier scene, of course, when she came face to face once again with Negan, and that's always going to generate tension, of course, because we all know that Negan murdered Glenn way back at the end of season 6, of course. So, always going to be very suspenseful whenever those two cross paths with one another. Of course, Negan has done a lot in the last couple of seasons to really try and redeem himself. You know, at the end of the day, whether they like it or not, Negan was the primary factor in helping them defeat Alpha, and Carol alludes this to Maggie when they come across the destroyed ruins of Hilltop again. So we wait and see what will happen in the future, whether we'll get a pivotal confrontation between the two, whether Maggie will somehow be able to get past it and move forward and look to the future with her own group as well. So that's always going to be highly anticipated whenever we get scenes between both Maggie and Negan throughout this show. And we get a journey where we see Maggie and Daryl and others, and they want to go back to Maggie's base. And we get a good scene between Maggie and Daryl where we basically catch up with what she's been up to ever since she's separated from the group way back, I think, in the middle of season 9. And she talks about the fact that she couldn't be around Negan anymore. She would have gone crazy, and it wasn't very healthy for her son, who she's named Herschel as well. So then we go on to the next developments where they try to find the perimeter around a location, and all of a sudden they find themselves under attack from a group called the Reapers. We haven't heard anything about that previously throughout this 10th season, so we'll wait and see what happens and how big this group is and how dangerous they are and what their overall purpose and motivations are. So Maggie comes forward back to her base and we see it's burnt down, so they're very distressed about how many of their people have been killed by this Reaper group, and Herschel is not with them, so we go ahead to try and find Herschel. And then they come across this assailant or this assassin type of character. He's in this very bulky camouflage type of gear. He takes out a couple of the group, but then he comes across Maggie and Daryl, and they eventually manage to break free from his capture. They surround him and they ask him who he is, what's he about, how many of the Reapers are there. He doesn't tell them, and then he ends up blowing himself up with a grenade. And then essentially Maggie decides that they have to come back and reunite with the group. They go ahead to the Alexandria location where everybody's rebuilding, and once again we get a firm face off between Maggie and Negan. Very slow motion shot on there as we see Maggie basically telling one of her group that this is home sweet home for now, and this is where they will base their location, and then we will see what happens throughout the further remaining 5 episodes of the season. So that was really a short, quick summary because, as I mentioned at the start of this review, not really a lot happened. It wasn't a bad episode. It was very well directed, I suppose. There were some moments of suspense as we saw the group attacked under the Reapers, but it was nothing too spectacular, nothing too thrilling or edgy or really significant. And I just wonder, when we look at these overall 6 episodes, are they just really going to be a kind of filler, really, as we build to the 11th and final season? I suppose the most interesting aspect of the show is when we catch up with Eugene and Ezekiel and Yumiko and find out what exactly those group of uniformed soldiers in the white costumes, what were they about. Of course, if you know anything about the Walking Dead history, this is very much hinting towards the Commonwealth and the New Order story arcs. Those are really the final defining story arcs within the Walking Dead comic book. So of course the show has for the most part stuck really closely to the comic book storyline, so that's really, I think, the interesting hook of the show so far. So that's really what I'm looking for when we get these remaining 6 episodes before we get to the season 11. So that's it really. So those are my thoughts and quick review of the Walking Dead Return, the 17th episode of the 10th season, titled Home Sweet Home. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you think this was a lackluster return for the show? Are you as enthusiastic or hyped up for The Walking Dead for the 6 additional episodes as we go into season 11? Or do you feel the show has really outstayed its welcome and it should have been cancelled some seasons ago? I think what's clear is that the hype isn't as there as well now as what it was, even I'd say going back towards season 9 and remnants of season 10 as well. So I think, to be honest, these 6 additional episodes, not a lot will happen, and then we will really build up towards the final and 11th season overall. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I will provide reviews if there are any more standout episodes throughout these final additional 6 episodes, and I may do a review of the 6th episode of these batch of episodes throughout the 10th season, and then of course when season 11 arrives I will do a premiere review of that as well. So that's it for now on Home Sweet Home, the Return of the Walking Dead. Let me know what you think in the comments below. That's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.